everybody. Michelle is going to be doing some earrings really quickly. So I want to pop in and say hi. I'm Jamie. Hello, Beth. Thank you for joining us for your very first live with the Bead Gallery. So she's going to be doing earrings and a demonstration of a super cute wire heart headpin. And Beth had asked if we do bead weaving and leather wrap bracelets. And we do. We have over 200 videos on our YouTube channel, so it can always give you some direct recommendations. And if there's something you want to see, we can also do it live again. Like one thing that we're excited to do is this bracelet that Michelle did. Oh, can you grab it? The one with the copper chain. Do you know where that is? I have it hanging outside of the chain box. So it's a copper chain that she took. Stop, turn right, and look at eye level. And she wove this silk ribbon into it. And I think you guys might want to see this one live because we have 1,000, is that 1,000, right, of these silk ribbons that are hand dyed, handmade, hand sewn on the edges. So we have these, and Michelle can totally do this one live. You know what's really cool about this is you can untie your ribbon, use the same base, put a new ribbon in there, and just keep redoing it. So if you guys want to do this, give some comments below, and we can do this as probably like in the next week or two, yeah? Come out with this already to show you how to do this mermaid silk chain braided bracelet. Oh. Okay, here, come meet Michelle.
Am I in? Hey everybody, thanks for coming to our channel. I'm Michelle from the Bead Gallery, and yeah, I'm going to show you a couple of different projects today that you can do with. I'm going to be focusing on tourmaline because that was our show that we featured earlier on our Facebook channel. If you want to see it, please visit our Facebook page, the Bead Gallery Honolulu. But so the beads I'm going to be using are primarily tourmaline today, but you can use anything you want. Again, I'm going to just be doing a couple of demonstrations. It's not really meant to be a class, and I'm not going to have measurements or any kind of instructions for you to follow because I just kind of make it up as I go. However, yeah, I'm winging it. However, for the Briolette wrap earrings, if you do need to see a closer look at the technique, we do have the instructional on our YouTube channel. That's this channel here. Just look, search for Briolette wrap or tip drill, wire wrap or something, and you will get an instructional video of how to do the technique. Yes. Can you do some shout outs? Ah, sure. Hey, Pauline. Hi, Marika.
That's your new fan.
Oh, hi, Beth.
Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
Melita.
Hi, Melita.
Robin in San Diego.
Hi, Robin.
So all ready to
Okay, so yeah, again, if you can't see something when I'm doing something for the Briolette wrap, go to the Briolette instructional video that we have right here on this channel. And the heart headpin component that I'm going to be making, it's just to show you what it looks like. It's not really to teach you how to do it because I don't have instructions or measurements for that. So you can just watch me as I bead. Okay, so let's get to doing the Briolette wrap earrings first because that's a fast present that you guys can make for Christmas. You can use any kind of bead you want. You can use any kind of link you want, any kind of earring findings. It's just a very simple couple of components, a little bit of wire, and boom, you have a present for, you know, Christmas or somebody's birthday. Okay, so let's start with that one. Let's move over here. Do I have to hit this?
I am.
You did it. Okay. All right. So right here I have some 26 gauge wire. This is half hard. I have a lotus links here. I have some tip drilled tourmalines here. And when we say tip drilled, it means that the hole goes through the tip of the bead like this, not lengthwise through the bead like that. Okay. The benefits to having the hole way up here is that you see a lot more bead that has no hole going through it. It's just like a lot of stone that you see, and then it makes a very nice drop shape. So, and then I have a pair of ear wires. Very simple pair of earrings, but it's very cute. So 26 gauge half hard, I'm just going to start by making a little angle in the wire like this. And I'm going to do that 2 times, so I'm going to cut my wire. It's about 2.5 to 3 inches total per piece. Okay, just like this. So I have an angle that's bent that's more like a triangle shape. It's not a right angle like we do for basic wire wrap. It's more of a 60-degree kind of triangle shape like this. And I'm going to do a second angle on the other side of the hole. I usually like to start the bend by bending it against the edge of a plier like this. It's almost like scoring a piece of paper before you fold it. You just start the fold here. That way you don't stress out the hole when you pull the wire against it. This makes it less likely that you will break the tip of your tip drill bead off, because that can happen. It does happen. It doesn't really happen to me, but it happens to people, I've heard, in the 20 years I've been here. And, you know, so it happens. It's a thing. So if you bend against the plier a little bit first and start your angle, then it's less likely that you'll break your bead. Okay, so I'm just going to do it the way we show it in our tip drill wire wrap video. Disclaimer, this isn't actually the way I do my tip drill wire wraps, but that's okay. I know how to do it the way they teach it in the video. Okay, so you just make your triangle. Then I'm going to do a basic wire wrap with one short leg sticking up. Okay. There we go. So you have a basic wire wrap loop here, and I'm going to attach it to my lotus. And then you're going to kind of hold everything together, your loop and the short leg. And we're going to wrap this long tail that's at a 90-degree angle to the short leg around both the wire that's coming down from the loop and the short leg that's sticking up. Okay, and again, if you want to see close-ups of this technique, we do have this instructional video here on the channel, so you can see it done repeatedly and way more close-up than what I'm doing now. Okay. And so I'm just going to do a bunch of coils till I reach the top of my triangle. It's hard, I have to keep flipping it and my lotus is getting in the way, but that's okay. Okay, so I do about 4 coils when it comes to Briolette wrapping this style, because you want to have quite a bit of wire holding your short leg here. That's the only thing that's holding it together, so you want quite a bit of wire holding it there, otherwise it can slip out and then your wire wrap will become undone and your bead might fall off, which would be sad. Okay, so we're going to trim that really carefully and make sure you don't cut anything that you don't want to cut. Like so. And you can trim the short leg that's sticking up now. What I personally like to do is to pull it, to bend it at a right angle like this, because it's easier to trim close when it's at a right angle like this rather than when it's right up against the loop that I just made. And then there's a little bend that kind of secures that short leg in the coil that you just made. It's a little more secure if you do that. Okay, again, trim carefully like this. And didn't trim it that closely. I'm not wearing glasses right now or my mag eyes, so I'm just going to leave it sticking out a little bit. Let me do a little bit better. Here we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, so this is what our component looks like. And to finish this pair of earrings, all you have to do is put it on an ear wire. So you swivel the loop open. I'll hook that on like this. There we go. Okay. So now if you are kind of worried about the security of your Briolette wrap here, and you're worried that the little short leg might come out and your bead might fall off, there's one way to get around that. And that way is, let's see, grab another bead here. So this is a more secure, but it's not quite a Briolette wrap. It's like a hybrid. I'm going to have a small bead here. That's like a rondelle. It's a bead with the hole going all the way through. It's like a little donut or a round you can use. Okay, so if you don't want to do just a Briolette wrap, what you can do is kind of like a hybrid basic wire wrap. And I'll show you how to do that right now. Again, we have to make our little triangle shape with a wire. This, but I'm going to make it so that there is a bead between the loop and the Briolette here. Okay, so in this case what I'm going to do is not pull the short leg up perpendicular to the hole. I'm going to pull it sideways so it's parallel to the hole, and then I'm going to bring my long tail up like this. So now it's almost like what it looks like as a basic wire wrap, okay, because the short leg is perpendicular to the wire that's coming up from the bead. Then I'm going to wrap that short tail once around the long wire, kind of like basic wire wrap. If you don't know what basic wire wrap is, that is also another instructional video on our YouTube channel. So I'm going to just wrap it one time around so it's not like that shape can open up. It kind of secures it shut. Trim. Okay, so now I have a triangle shaped basic wire wrap section right here with my bead hanging on it. Like so. And that was really easy. And all you have to do now is string on your next bead here like this. So you see we're going to have a little bead. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. We'll have a little bead here between the Briolette and the lotus. Okay. And then all you have to do is just a really easy basic wire wrap loop here to connect your bead to the lotus. Okay, so this is a nice workaround if you're not too comfortable just doing Briolette wraps. And it's a nice way of introducing another bead. So you could use a bead that's like a contrasting color, or you know, you could use a green tourmaline here. Just like more of it as a design element as well. Okay, so I'm going to hook it onto my lotus here. And then we'll just do basic wire wrap here, like so. Okay, now we're going to attach our ear wire. So if you don't mind a little bit of a longer earring, then this is a good design for you. Here. Okay, so we have our bead, like a little rondelle in between the lotus and the briolette, as opposed to this one. So they're both really cute, very easy designs, minimal amount of beads and wire. So I hope you thought that was fun. Okay. There we go. And these are two very basic techniques that you can look up on our channel here. Okay, and so now I hope you thought that was fun. Let me go over here. What's this? There we go. All right, I hope you thought that was fun. Okay, so we have our single drop earring here, where we have our drop with a single bead here. Am I not showing?
I'll put it here and I'll make it bigger.
Okay.
Beth said they're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So they are enjoying
And it's
your
very
work.
easy to do. Okay.
These are gorgeous.
Am I still on camera?
You are. I'm going to steal the camera from you.
Okay. All right.
And make it bigger. Hang on, our friends. So here is one. Here is the other. And if you guys have questions, Michelle, ask them if they have questions because I will relay them to you.
Does anybody have any questions so far for either of these techniques?
You got nice, yeah.
Well, the bead, it helps that the beads are really, really nice. So these are pink tourmaline Briolettes. They're a really good size too. They're nice and big, relatively speaking.
So you're showing two different styles. I like the one with the bead.
It's a lot easier too for beginners because it's closer to the basic wire wrap technique than the Briolette wrap technique. So it's a lot easier to do. It's more forgiving, I think. Yeah.
And it's prettier.
Yeah. With the bead over there, yeah. It's just if you don't like that so much length, then you might opt for the traditional Briolette wrap. But if you don't mind putting more beads in your project, then that's a nice compromise. It's simpler to do to me. Yeah.
It's nice too because if you really want to make it pop, you can always use like a bright color, like an orange.
Or you could use like a purple amethyst, or you could do like a green tourmaline. Yeah.
Ask them what they think. Like, which one do they prefer? I'd love to hear.
Yeah. Let us know which style you guys prefer.
Or which
for
they're
this.
going to try.
Or which one you're going to try at home.
Marita
Anybody?
said, how much are the lotus components? And if you can let her know that our friend Dana designed.
Oh, our friend Dana designed these. She has like an Asian art degree. And so she does a lot of pieces that have like an Asian type of influence to them. She does a lot of lotuses. She does like cranes. It's kind of like more Asian motifs. And we also have these in, well, we have them in sterling silver. We also have them in 24 karat yellow gold vermeil as well as rose gold vermeil.
Yeah, so many comments are saying very pretty.
It helps because the beads are really, really nice.
I will put you back on your face so you can ask them what
Yes.
you're ready for the next one.
Okay, is everybody ready for the next one that is not a class because I don't have any measurements?
I think everybody loves demos.
Okay, I'll do two, probably do two different styles. So the first one I'm going to do is, let's do an easy one. I'm going to make a fancy head pin and put one bead on there, okay? And then I'll do the heart one.
All right, okay, turn your mind.
All right. Do I have to switch this?
I gotcha.
You did? Okay. All right. So I have when you make wire components, you really want to match the size of your wire to the bead holes. If you didn't want to make the holes of the beads bigger, then you would just choose the thickest wire that will fit through here. This is tourmaline. So I'm going to do just a very simple, how's about a spiral head pin first to begin with. Actually, no, I think I'll just do like a teardrop head pin. Okay. I'm just going to make something. So I'm going to do a basic wire wrap type of component at the bottom for the head pin portion. And I like to use some long round nose pliers to make bigger curves in my wire wrap. Okay, so I'm going to make kind of a teardrop shape. There we go. Ooh. Okay, so this is 20 gauge half hard wire. Okay, and turn my wire at an angle and wrap it once around, like this. Okay, and we like to just wrap it so the loop will stay shut. Okay, and then I'm going to cut a little bit of a portion so I can just use it. Here we go. And if you, here's a teardrop shape. If you want to make this more into a leaf shape, we can bend an angle at the tip. You can use just like a chain nose plier and find sort of the middle and bend an angle like this. Okay. So I have a leaf component on our YouTube channel somewhere that I did a couple of videos a few months ago. And this is the same idea. There we go. So we can make like a cute little leaf shape, like this. And to make it keep its shape, we're going to want to hammer it. We'll give it a little bit of contour as well. Now you want to keep this wire wrapped portion, the coil, off the block. So I'm going to have it work on the edge of the bench block like this, and we'll just hammer it. This is my favorite baby chasing hammer. It has a very small face, so when you work with very small pieces, you can see where you're hitting. Like this. Okay, so you make sort of a fancy head pin like so. And when we say head pin in this case, basically it's a piece of wire with something at the bottom to keep your bead from falling off. Okay. And then you can string on your bead, and we'll just do a basic wire wrap loop here, and you'll have a cute little pendant with a leaf at the bottom. Okay, so this is messing around with wire. Okay, we're just going to do a basic wire wrap here. And when I like to do bigger wire wrap loops, I like the long round nose plier. I also like to use our wrap and tap pliers, like our 6-step multi wrap and tap. I like that one a lot. Especially if you're trying to match sizes. So like if you're doing a pair of earrings, it's probably easier to use the 6-step wrap and tap. But I also like the long round nose. Okay. So if you want to make this into a pendant, you can put a big loop on here so you can slide it on a cord. You can also wire wrap it to a ring, which I'll show you in the next project. Okay, I'm just going to wrap this shut. Like this. And you can also hammer this loop here, especially if it's big, you want it to keep its shape. And you also, if you want to add a little bit of a design element, you can make it fancier by hammering a texture onto the ring. This loop up at the top. Okay, so we have a really cute component here, just like this. You could do 2 of them and make some earrings. Oops. There we go. Okay. So that's 1 wire component you can do. Again, I'm using 20 gauge half hard wire. The next one I'm going to leave kind of long because I'm not exactly sure how much wire I'm going to be using. So we shall just make sure that we have lots of wire. Okay, I'm going to bend an angle up like this. So I'm going to do a heart shape, and this is very free form because I'm not sure how much wire I'm using. Okay. But you have to kind of think of this as like a piece of string. Okay, that's pretty stiff. Okay, it doesn't have the give that string does, which is nice because it'll take on the shape whatever you put into it. Okay. So I'm just going to bring the wire around. Cut it. And then squeeze that loop shut. Okay, so we have a little heart here. Whoops, here we go. And then a lot of the times when you make shapes with your wire, the initial shaping is not hard, but it's the adjusting that takes a little bit of time.
I give you more frame space.
No, thank you. There we go. Okay, so that's a very like free-form heart.
There was a question. Is there a trick on how you keep the wire under control while you're wire wrapping?
Wire wrapping?
Yeah, so when you're wrapping the wire, is there a trick you do to keep the wire under control?
I think that working with somebody asked if there's a trick that I use to keep the wire under control when I'm wire wrapping, and I would probably say not really. You just have to start with a piece of wire length that is comfortable for you. So I've been working with wire for, I don't know, 20 years. So I can work with almost any length of wire. Of course, a shorter length is easier to work with because it doesn't fling all over the place. But when you work with it too short and you run out, that's really hard. So I would rather work with more wire than not enough, which is why I started with this gigantically long piece of wire here. But yeah, this one's rather long. It's a little unwieldy. Okay, I'm gonna hammer it right now. And again, you leave the pieces that the overlapping spaces hanging off of the block so you don't hit them. So I hope that answered your question. If not, I will try to answer it again and clarify. Okay. So. But when I'm doing like basic wire wrap and stuff, yeah, always work with a workable length. Like I don't pre-cut my wires too much for basic wire wrap or even Briolette wrap, even though I did pre-cut it earlier. I don't usually, because the more times you cut the wire, the more you waste, you know, and I don't like wasting wire, especially because all I work with at home is, you know, gold fill, sterling silver, and it gets pricey when you start wasting an inch here, 2 inches here, it starts to add up. So I'm I've learned to be, over the years, very stingy with my wire. And that means not cutting it so many times. But I find that an easier length to work with is maybe about a foot to a foot and a half. And then when you're hammering, you just want to turn your piece on the block so that the parts you want hammered are on the block. That's like obvious, yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I have a heart at the bottom, so now it's like a head pin. Then I'm going to string on my beads. I have these tourmalines here. I'm going to do just like a sort of a wand style. So I'm just going to stack all the beads together. Okay. Like this. That's a little long. I think I'll make it maybe 3 beads long. That's getting excessive. Hold on. Okay, that's cute. Especially because the wire that I'm using here is like 20 gauge, so it's not really thick. And to make this into a pendant, I'm just going to wire wrap it to a closed ring here. This is a 10mm textured ring. It's in sterling silver. So I'm going to do a small wire wrap at the top of my stack of beads. Like this. Okay, and then I'm going to attach my ring before I wrap this shut. And there we go. I think we have a little pendant. With the ring at the top so you can hang it on any chain that you want. Okay, and this is again 20 gauge half hard wire, which is probably the thinnest I would use for any kind of component. This is actually on the small side for me. I would never use 22, I don't think, gauge half hard wire. Unless the shape was maybe half the size of what this is. You always want to match your wire gauge to the size of your project. You want it to be structurally sound, so you'll never use really thin wire to make a really big shape unless you don't mind that it pulls out of shape very easily. Okay. So, how did everybody like that heart pendant there? Here we go. Just like that. That wasn't too hard. But, yeah, it's just working with the wire like it's like a single piece of string. And so if you want to try something like that at home, you definitely can. Just, you know, experiment and make sure you have a longer length of wire than you think you need. Let's see. And then if somebody wants to make like a spiral head pin, those are really easy. You want to start with a flush cut. And we're just going to grab the very tip of the wire, like this. And I do like to tuck it in so it's a little bit smaller than what I start with. Here we go. So you can start by making a spiral like this. What? And then I can just, if you want, you can make sort of a, this is an open heart. So I'll do one side that's a spiral like this. Then I'm going to bend it up like this. What happened?
No, you got a lot of fans who said heart. And we got some comments where people said, please share the hammer info. So I wanted you to know that. So if you want to chit chat while you're making stuff.
Okay. All right. So people were asking about the hammer that I'm using. Whoops, here we go. Let me just get this started here. Okay. Let me fix this up and then I'll start hammering and I'll tell you about my hammer as I go. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I have a little heart here. This is a different one because it's open and it's not like looped shut or anything, so it can pull. Here we go. So there's an opening here, which is different from the way I just did it earlier. So we have our bench block. And then I'm going to use the hammer. So this is a Frets Maker's hammer. This is number 401. It's like a baby chasing hammer. It has like a little face. It's puffy on one side and it's flat on the other. I like to use the puffy side because it moves the metal really fast, especially when I'm hammering on a flat surface like this. And I would probably use a flat side more if I was hammering it on a curve like a ring mandrel. Okay, just easier. So I like the small head because I do a lot of smaller components. Okay, and actually this Maker's line of frets is sort of like their more introductory level hammers because it doesn't have the fancy, nice, dark wood handle that the original Frets line does. It has like an ash handle. The face is like a little bit bigger than the baby chasing hammer that I have from the regular Frets line. But I really like this. This is one of the hammers that I use pretty much all the time at home when I'm making jewelry. I do a lot of smaller components like this, and just the accuracy of the hitting, it's pretty unmatched because the face is so small. So you can see what you're doing. And you don't move the metal so fast, which is good, especially when you're using like really skinny wire like this. You can over hammer really quickly. So the lighter weight of the head makes it so that you probably won't hammer your metal too much. I mean, you still can, but it doesn't move as fast as like a heavier hammer does. Okay. And it's nice because it's a very affordable hammer. We have it on our online store if you want to check it out, I believe. But yeah, I really like it. It's one that I use almost all the time, almost every day at home. Okay, so this is a different heart here. I'm going to put like a black bead on here. Oh, I have some here. Black tourmaline. Well, a dark green. Here we go. Just like this. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how to do a rabbit ear bail, and that will probably be the last thing I want to show you how to do today. But I need a 6-step wrap and tap plier. So hold on 1 second while I go get one. Okay. So when I do a rabbit ear bail, I like to use a 6-step wrap and tap like this here, because as opposed to the long round nose plier that has a tapered jaw, the 6-step has very cylindrical jaws that are of the same diameter for a certain length. Okay, and then that way if you do like 1 or 2, like 2 loops in a row, they're both the same size. Okay. So I'm going to make a little rabbit ear bail here with this. So again, I'm going to do a basic wire wrap loop. And I'm going to do a little bit of a bigger size. So I'll use step number 4. That's going to be really big, but maybe you'll be able to see what I'm doing better. Oh, that's really big. I don't recommend that with this gauge wire, but that's okay. So just so you can see. Okay. So I'm going to bring the wire around 2 times so it's like a little coil. So, okay, you can see that there's like 2 loops here. You can't do this if you're connecting it to something because it's very hard to get this connected to something else. So you can't do a double wire wrap like this and use it to link something together, but you can do it as a standalone thing like this. Okay, and sometimes it's easier to start the coil with the jaw of the plier still in there. Here we go. Like this. That way the loop doesn't get distorted. I'm just going to pop it in there and coil. Like this. Okay, and we're going to trim that. Okay, so I have a double wire wrap here, which is it's nice like just like this because it's stronger because we have 2 loops here. But if you want to give it a fancier shape, you can actually get between the 2 coils. You can use something like a round nose plier or my long round nose plier here and just sort of spread them apart a little bit. Then you can use your fingers or your other pliers to kind of spread that out so it's more of a V shape. Like this. So you have a little bit more stuff going on at the top. It's not just a skinny loop. You have a little bit more visual weight to the loop at the top. Okay. Which is sometimes what you need, because if you did a big skinny loop, it looks kind of unwieldy. But if you spread them out like this, then it looks a little more balanced. Okay. Let's go back to this. Okay. Can you see me? Am I on camera, Jamie? I can't tell. I only see that.
You are.
Yay!
You are.
Okay, I'm back now. I didn't know I was back. All right, so there we have it. I did 3 pendants rather unexpectedly. So you can see what you can do with just like 20 gauge half hard wire. You can make all different kinds of fancy head pins for your drops. Here we go.
And behind? Perfect.
Here. There you go.
Super
Okay, with the rabbit ear bale. Or you can do it with a closed ring like this. Or you can do just like an oversized wire wrap loop like this, but not like too big. Okay, so I hope you found this to be an inspiring exercise in wire. Whether it's really skinny wire with Briolette wrapping, or it's a little bit heavier gauge wire with some making your own head pins. Yeah, I hope you find this to be rather inspiring, and I hope that you'll try some of this at home. For the 20 gauge wire, you do need a hammer and a bench block just to harden your shapes, to make sure that your wire and your head pin keeps its shape. And it looks better if you hammer it, and it's sturdier. And so I hope you'll try this at home. It's fun, trust me. Yes.
And
What?
text us if they need any
Oh,
recommendations.
yes.
Totally can help them.
Please give us a, comment below, or you can text our phone line at 808-436-4930 if you need any supplies, or if you actually need any advice. We are happy to help you. Okay, or you can email us if that's easier than texting. request@thebeadgallery.com. And if you haven't done so already, but you'd like to, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. We could definitely love to have more subscriptions. That'd be great. And you can even hit that little bell next to the subscribe button, so then you'll get notifications the next time we come on live, because we like to sneak on here live sometimes and show you more fun stuff. So I hope you'll join us again. Until then, please live, love, and create, and have fun beading. Happy